Welcome back to Beyond the Court, where we deep dive with some of the top leaders and coaches in volleyball and beyond. I'm your host, Courtney Thompson, with League One Volleyball, and we are so fired up for our first episode of Season 2. This is an incredibly special night brought to you by the LOVB Foundation. We are on site with some of the greatest influencers in and around the game of volleyball. We're going to hit them with some quick hits. Essentially, we're going to ask amazing people some very hard questions, and we're going to see what happens. But we're grateful to be here with you, and we can't wait for Season 2 of Beyond the Court. Thank you for joining today. I'm curious, in your work experience as a parent and all that you've been through, at this point, where do you think the club model is excelling in developing players, and where do you think it might be falling short?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a great, that's a really, really good question. I think, I will say excelling first, right? And so I think that the overall volleyball community has grown. I mean, since I played in college, it's unbelievable, yeah. Right? And so you go to national tournaments, and like I played in the Midwest, there were no boys tournaments. We had to play in USAV tournaments, and now you go and there's 1,100 kids at nationals. And so I think that the club architecture is it has grown the game so incredibly much, right? And so I think that, when you look at that, it is kid development, it is like coaching development, it is sort of opportunities. I think that we, having worked a lot overseas, there's this sort of concept of like Ubuntu, right? Where it's like we're doing it all for the greater good of it. Right. And I think that that's the beautiful thing about volleyball is that you go and there is just this commonality, and there is this kind of wonderful opportunity to sort of grow the game, right? I think that comes with, like, if you talk about the club model, right? I'm here truly sort of representing foundation. I'm a passionate advocate for the human condition. And so it really is frustrating for me to see sometimes where it's like, it's just not accessible to everybody. Yeah. Right. And I think that we have to be really, 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 really careful that it doesn't become a country club sport. Yeah. Right. Where it is, we have to sort of think about, kind of where we put funds and where we don't put funds, like what we sort of advocate for. And so I do think that, in the greater we of all of it, we have to think about not just the we that are in it, but the we that are trying to but can't. Right. And so I think that trying to grow and develop the game in the part that is still trying to get in, right? Rather than trying to make the 99th percentile to the 100th percentile. And so I think I'm a passionate advocate of access to all that stuff.
Fired up. LoveFoundation.org.
Yeah,
let's go.
Please
be about
do.
it.
Yes.
I'm curious, where does that fire come from for you? And what is one thing that we can all do? Like, if everyone in the Love community did something to help move the needle in this way, to make club volleyball more accessible, to invite more kids to feel like they belong and they're a part of this, what's something we could all do?
It is not the sport for sport's sake, right? I mean, I think that we are not building great volleyball players, although we are. Yeah. We are building better human beings and better communicators and better leaders and better life. Yeah. Better life skills. And so, I have 2 teenage kids, and I think that, when we think about what does participation in club do? And yes, they develop their skills, but to put a kiddo on a team with 11 other girls that are teenagers and have them try to figure out how to communicate, how to problem solve, how to sort of manage conflict. I think that in this day and age, there are not a lot of places that do that anymore. Right. And so I think that it's really, that is what drives me every day, where you were it is not making better volleyball players. It's like, it is making better human beings. Right. And so I think that that's, if we can't get fired up for that, like, I don't know why, we're doing
I love it.
Right.
I love
and
it.
So, and I forgot the second part of the question.
The second part
that you
was,
asked.
what's one thing we could all do? If we're behind this, I mean, I can feel it just hearing you talk, and it's so meaningful to so many people, and maybe we don't know the best thing to do.
I'm going to come back to sort of access issues, right? And so, I mean, I think that the one thing that we could do is, like, when we look at the greater communal the greater club volleyball, right? So you go into a nationals tournament, and the amount of funds and the amount of resources that have been put that on, I have to imagine that there is a way for us to understand and craft a narrative where we have the ability to take a little bit of those resources and steer and guide them to truly growth and development, right? And so, when we talk about, paying for dues, maybe those that have the ability to play dues plus 5%, right? Yeah. They pay dues plus 5%, right? And so thinking about how you can sort of give back to not only your individual club, but I think that to the greater sort of volleyball architecture. Yeah. Right? So
amazing. Thank you.
Yeah, it was a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, really grateful to get to talk with you. You fired me up, and we hope we see more. Yeah. Hope
Sounds good. Thanks so much.
All right, thank you. Kaitlyn, thank you so much for being on.
Great to be here.
We were joking earlier, but I'm not a mom yet, but I kind of can't wait for the moment where I've been preaching all these things, to coaches and athletes. And then as a mom, I'm like, oh, this is like a little tough to actually live into. So I'm curious, with all of your incredible experience and vision of love and business background, what is the most rewarding moment you've had as a mom watching your kids compete in volleyball?
The thing that comes up the most for me is to see the progression. To be fully transparent, her first season, which was last season for 11s, I was traveling all over the country for the Pro League.
Right.
And so I didn't actually make it to that many matches. It was actually the husband who ended up going to most of them. And so the few that I did actually get a glimpse of, I see the progression because they were so sporadic, right? I don't see the day-to-day. It's like you don't realize your kids have outgrown you in height, but other people notice because they see them sporadically. So just to know that she is so self-motivated to want to do well, and to see her make that progression is awesome. And one specific thing that stood out for me was actually at a practice to see her talk directly to her coach about something that took place on the court that she felt like she needed to both express what she could have done better, as well as have this exchange with someone who was clearly, a couple of decades older than her. And she's like barely 11. I didn't actually even ask her what it was about, but just to see her having that conversation as a young adult made me maybe prouder than anything that would have happened when she was even touching a ball. That's the growth I think you get in life from participating in sports.
Yeah, I love that. And 11s are so cute. Their spandex are all baggy. They're just It's a long way to go from watching pro volleyball to 11s.
Yeah, it was not the same level of volleyball, but it was also just as fun and just as rewarding.
I bet. So to pull on that, and you kind of answered it, but if you were to think of some other things that you would hope that both of your kids gain from playing club volleyball outside of getting better at volleyball, what would those intangible skills be? Like, what do you hope most for them to develop?
I see how rich those relationships are that they're getting from their on-court and off-court teammates that expands their horizons beyond what they get in their schools. And it's wonderful to have friends in schools, of course, but I think it's just a different one. It's just an expansion of your network, of the people that you're exposed to, the diversity that represents. And there's something about participating in something where you have to coordinate in a way that you might not yet get to in school to do so inside the classroom. Yeah. It's a different level of depth that creates, I think, a different level of belonging. And 6th grade, 8th grade, I mean, those are hard years.
Ooh, yeah.
I think all of us have some level of PTSD.
Yes.
So to have sports as a part of your experience definitely gives you more perspectives and doesn't pigeonhole you, I think, in the awkwardness that is 6th and 8th grade.
Right. Well said. Yeah. Well said. I've been super grateful to get to work with you and to see you and to be inspired by you and all that you've done. In my perspective, you've done a lot of hard things in the name of a greater purpose. And I love being around people that do that. I'm curious, what helps you do hard things? Like, what helps you stay in it when most people would tap out?
The resilience comes from the belief in the we that is stronger than just me alone. Because it's way more fun.
Yeah, truly.
Doing hard stuff. Am I supposed to not swear?
No, you can't.
I can't tell.
I
Okay, we'll beep it up. Doing hard shit together is way more fun than doing it by yourself. There's so much more creativity. The dynamics of a team gives you that much more resilience and persistence, especially when you're so aligned at the core values level, at the vision level. The rest of it, like, you have to pivot. I mean, nothing stays static, as we all know. And really good teams pivot, and they do so still, though, with a very strong foundation of shared values, and at the core, very aligned on where they're headed. It's to how you get there and how you move through the world to get there. Yeah. It's just way more fun when you're with other people. I mean, podcast is so much more fun to even listen to or probably do when you have somebody on as opposed to just yourself.
100%. Everything, yeah.
Everything.
I love it. Last question. What's the most energizing vision that you have for League One Volleyball?
I was actually on the ride down here, I was talking to one of my co-founders, Kevin Wong, and this is our 5th time, I believe, headed into One Love. Yeah. And each time we do a little pause and be like, can you believe how many people are coming? Yeah. I said the same thing to Peter just outside. And the luxury of talking about love at its current scale.
Oof, that gave me chills.
Is incredible. So it's not a new vision. It's just being so excited about what this next chapter of being on a rocket ship is going to feel like.
Yeah.
Right? The rocket ship has never deviated from its path, but there's so much that happens in every single stage that's maybe very different from the last stage. Right. And the stage we're heading into is we've got our first season already under our belts. We've got this incredible group of community surrounding us, whether it's the club community, the coaches, the parents around it, the foundation. All of these things literally stayed on a piece of paper or on a presentation somewhere when we were trying to articulate this.
A lot of Excel sheets.
A lot of it.
In my experience, a lot of Excel sheets.
And the fact that each one of them, as we said it would, are coming to life. Yeah. Maybe not exactly in its description, but at the root of it, what we're trying to do, which is advance and create better lives through the sport of volleyball. We're certainly not perfect, but we are creating something truly, truly special with this community from youth all the way to pro and everybody else around it. And just to see that coming to life bodes so well for our future. Yeah. And the next stage will be more exciting than the last few.
Amazing. I have so much respect for you, and you've been such a lighthouse for a community that has changed my life. And it is such an honor to get to work for you and get to be here. And thank you doesn't seem enough, but we're grateful, and thank you for all that you do.
It's a privilege. Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Kevin, thank you for being here. Really excited to talk with you.
Thank you.
I'm curious, you've had a lot of cool life experiences, but even as an ocean lifeguard for many decades, and all of the hardship that you've faced and been through and seen leading others, when your daughter's playing volleyball, how do you help teach her understand what success means?
Wow, that's a great question.
Sorry, starting off with a tough one.
Success is really, I think it's letting them experience how they want to experience it, and not really just for us sitting back. I mean, the parents have to kind of control themselves when your daughter or son makes a great play or doesn't make a good play, and so it's just kind of supporting them after the game, and I think it's you have to support them either way when they're winning and losing, and that's kind of I think just part of like helping them grow without too much like parenting,
right?
You know what I mean?
Pushing them. I would imagine in your perspective or in your experience, you have a lot of perspective to kind of understand, hey, this is a game, this is life. But has there been a moment for you that has been like really challenging as a parent? Like, ooh, I gotta stick to my values here. I really gotta not say something. Or has anything been hard in the dad role?
Well, I've been really lucky that Bryn has really excelled in a lot of sports from when she was just a little kid. So I think it was just maybe wanting her to go down the path of a sport that you want as a parent, but really just letting them choose. And I think it's letting kids have a lot of experiences trying out sports, just like you would for a musical instrument, like letting a kid try a whole bunch of instruments and then finally they can land on one. And my daughter both my daughters tried a lot of sports, from soccer, basketball, baseball, and Bryn, my older daughter, really focused on volleyball, and she was really good surfing. My older daughter is a dancer, and she went through a lot of different schools before she picked one that really made her happy. So I think it's letting them choose in the end what they want to do. Amazing.
And last question. How do you feel about multi-sport athletes specializing early? I know there's so much pressure to choose one at this point. I've got some strong feelings, but I'm curious what your perspective is.
I think to train with lots of different sports is best. Yeah. I think you hear a lot of kids that are focusing on one sport really young, and that repetitive action can hurt them, and it can lead to injuries. So I think it's really great to cross-train. That's what's great about junior guards. They're swimming, they're running, they're paddling, they are surfing,
so cool.
And they are dynamic. Warm-ups is very important. That's a lot of what we teach is getting your body warm before you start this serious activity. Yeah. So I think that's really important too. And I think to really wait until they are their maybe junior high before they're super focused on a sport, because you want them to peak in high school and college. Yeah. And not before then.
Love it. Do you guys have adult guards? Can we all get out there and learn a few?
Senior guards.
Senior guards. Yeah, all right.
No, not quite, but we do a lot of stuff with we surf a lot, so with our friends, so that's kind of like what keeps us in shape.
So cool. Sorry, I'm just a nerd for that stuff, but thank you for being on. Thanks for everything you've done for our sport, and
thank you guys.
Look forward to talking more.
Yeah, go Love.
Sorry. Always, it's so fun to do. Big fan of you. Thank you so much for being on.
Of course. Could you do the typical DJ thing that everybody does? Do you know what it is?
No, what is it?
When they put their hand to their ear and do this at the same time? Yeah, that's it.
That's
the universal sign for
that's
DJ.
That's more than...
You can do that too, but I just like the hand motion as well.
I like it.
I've never done this in my life, just in case you're wondering.
Your wife coaches.
Yes, she does.
You're around volleyball quite often.
A lot.
I get to see you, which is great. How do you, from where you sit, manage the highs and lows of a season? I know as a coach, that's a lot different. You're supporting a coach. How do you move through that?
Look, I'm going to be very honest. My wife's teams win a lot.
Let's go.
So I don't have to deal with losses too often. But when I do, and my wife comes home, I literally just let her do her thing. And if she wants me to speak, then I will speak. I do everything. If she needs a glass of wine afterwards, if she needs that, that's fine. If she needs to go for a walk, I will do that too.
Yeah.
But I tell her all the time, DJing Laker games is stressful.
Yeah.
But I think coaching kids is way more stressful, and I'd rather DJ Laker games.
That's awesome. That's awesome. You're, the 1%. All of us would be very nervous to do that. When you are going to an event to DJ, how do you drop in? Like, what's your pregame to really lock in? And you start as early as you want, because I'm a nerd for this stuff.
Yeah. Usually I do like some quiet time beforehand if I can. Like on the way, I will go through my music. I will go through the script of the show. I will kind of organize my music in a way that I know that the event's going to go. And then, so if the event doesn't go according to script, which no live event ever does, you're ready to pivot if you need to. But then usually beforehand, I do like to, if I can get 5 minutes of quiet where it's not hectic, because everything else is going to be hectic the whole time. I don't really have a lot of superstitions, but I do like to get about 5 minutes of quiet beforehand if I can.
This is a hard one, but I'm very excited to ask you this. What does music mean to you? And how do you think about it as it relates to creating an experience? I think the most beautiful part of sports is that it's unfolding, it's unknown. You're all there kind of co-creating this magical moment, potentially. Yeah, how do you see music fitting into that?
I think music is very important. I mean, everywhere you go, there's music. At the grocery store, like literally everywhere you go, there's music, and it is setting a vibe. And as somebody that DJs for sporting events, I feel like that is what my job is. And nobody's there for me at a sporting event. So my job is to complement what is happening on the court most of the time. So that's how I think about it, is like, what does this moment need? And beforehand, you prepare for all those moments. I need to prepare for the exciting moment. I need to prepare if somebody gets hurt. I need to prepare if at the end of the game, the coach calls a timeout just to be a jerk to the other team so they can't celebrate right away. But I think you could play the wrong song at the wrong time and it'll change the vibe of that moment. Yeah. So there is pressure not to screw up that way, because I would hate to ruin your celebratory moment when you win a huge match and then I played a song that you hated.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can you imagine?
Yeah. I feel like in Europe it happens.
I don't want to call out any names.
Yeah.
But
All right.
Yeah.
Small gyms and stuff.
Yeah, it happens. Yeah.
Is there a song that you can't stand that you have to play?
Yes, and it's not personal against them. It's just because I've had to play it a million times. Celebration. I can't. If I could never play that song again, I would be happy. And not because it's a bad song. Yeah. It's just because I've had to play it
so good.
Too much.
That's so good. What is, how do you define success? Like, you leave the arena and you're like, hell yeah, we did the thing.
The time where it makes me smile the most when I leave an arena is when I'm walking by somebody who is singing the last song that I played, and they have no idea either A, that they're singing it, or that I'm the person that played it. And I'm like, ooh, got them. They had a good time.
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah. Okay, last one. When you think about a love experience, and you've been to a lot of matches, what do you hope most for this sport and all of your experience with professional sports? What do you hope that love really captures at the highest level here?
I actually hope that it shows the youth that are coming up that are playing that they're going to have an opportunity when they get older. That's really, that's my favorite part of seeing how many kids show up to these matches and like are now knowing the players that play on the U.S. national team that they may not have ever seen play live before, are now playing for their hometown city. Yeah. I think that's the coolest thing, and it makes me excited to see those kids, how happy they are, knowing that whether they know yet that they can play professional or not, but the fact that there's an opportunity there, I think is what's the most important for them.
Yeah. Hell yeah, it's so cool. I lied, I got one more.
Great.
What are you listening to? Like in your car, what are you... Real.
You want me to give you the lame answer?
Yeah.
Podcasts. When I'm driving, I listen to podcasts mostly. But
yeah,
music-wise, it literally depends on the mood of the day. I could be listening to Johnny Cash, or I could be listening to the latest EDM song. Yeah. I'm really into Little Sims right now.
Sick. Yeah. That's so cool. Thank you.
Of
this
course.
Has been awesome.
Happy
Total
to be here.
Fan.
I just wanted to talk to you, whether they're recording or not. I don't care. Yeah.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Of course.
All right. Thank you all for tuning in to Beyond the Court. Make sure to hit the subscribe button below so you don't miss the next episode. And to learn more about League One Volleyball, follow us on Instagram at LOVB. In the meantime, keep working hard, having fun, and go on and spread the love today. We'll see you next time.